This is Marianne Myers and I'm Jerry Myers, and we have Norse Horse Park on Washington Island. Norse Horse Park is a Scandinavian heritage animal farm, and we focus on heritage vegetables, heritage chickens, heritage sheep, and heritage horses. Norwegian fjords are a pretty ancient breed, at least 4,000 years old. And one of their characteristics is this black stripe down their back, which continues all the way down their tail. In the most primitive horses, that's one of their characteristics. They have a center stripe. They've become quite popular in Wisconsin. Several hundred people have these horses now, and there's a lot of herds that are being formed. These are really traditional Scandinavian horse. He's got a head that's just that long. It's not much of a, it's not the elegant long head that we're used to in an Arab horse. His head goes into his shoulders, sort of like a football player. And they're short.
The Scandinavian countries developed warm bloods so they could put their king on them or their military. Didn't want to put them on little ponies, so they crossbred them with the Mediterranean horse to get this height and long neck and powerful. This one happens to be a Swedish warm blood. He's got the crown of Sweden here and with the S on it, and that means he meets the standard for Swedish warm blood. These two are Icelandic. They come from the same stallion. Got them in a farm in Iowa. In Iceland, this is the only horse that you will find. They don't allow any horses to be imported into the country. The Icelandics are noted for their special gait called the tolt. It's a rapid pace when the rider does not bounce on the back. It's a very smooth ride. Adults ride them. They have great stamina. You can ride them for a long time and they don't wear out. They're used to rough terrain, so they're great on trail rides.
When the Vikings came to Iceland, they discovered an empty island. There were no people, there were no horses, and the Vikings, of course, came with their boats, which they could carry horses in. So they brought these various breeds, including the ones that are Scandinavian from Sweden and Norway, and they've made a breed. And for the last 700 years, they haven't allowed any new breeds to come into the country. And the result is they have a horse that's actually free of a lot of the diseases that horses in Europe have. So if you go to import an Icelandic horse, you can import it with less hassle than if you import a horse from Sweden.
This is a Gotland. It's called the Russ horse, R-U-S-S.
So these are from the island of Gotland. These horses are an even older breed than that first horse. These are at least 5,000 years old. But there's island ponies throughout the Scandinavian world. There's about 200 Gotland horses, and there's maybe 6 places where they're breeding them in the United States. They're used as children's horses, but more importantly, they're used as therapy ponies. There's 3 breeds of horses in Norway. This is one of the 3, and it's called a dole horse, also called the horse of the forest, horse of the woods. And basically that's because they're used for harvesting wood in Norway. It's the most common breed in Norway.
It's a light draft, similar to the fjord. However, it's rare in the United States. Right now there are only 6 dole horses in the United States, and Tara's one. We grow a garden, we call it Freya's Garden, goddess of agriculture. We do this organically and try to maintain the diversity in the vegetables and fruits. We are vendors of Seed Saver Seeds, whose mission it is to preserve heritage vegetables. And twice a week we have farmer market, and we sell vegetables to people on the island. We have our sheep sheared in the spring, and then the processing, doing the carding and the spinning of the wool. We also sell raw wool here and have samples of the various Scandinavian breeds of wool.
Diversity among Scandinavian animals is largely what we're about. The horses are dramatic and exciting, and the sheep are interesting, and we have chickens and ducks as well, from Scandinavia. And this is the notion that these breeds are important to preserve, even though they're not common and they don't serve all the purposes that everyone has for these animals. For us, they're worth noting and paying attention to.